Tonight, an honor roll student in Clarksville faces serious charges and may not graduate because of what his family calls an overreaction by the school district to a mistake.
News Channel 5's Todd Walker is over at our smart screen. Todd, we know hundreds of people are backing this student up.
Yeah, David Duran-Sander was suspended from school this past Thursday, and since then more than 600 people from across the country have signed a petition saying what the school district is putting him through is wrong and tarnishing an otherwise spotless reputation.
It makes you a cynic. It makes me sad. It breaks my heart that this is happening to kids.
At this point in someone's senior year of high school, they should be looking over college and scholarship applications, not weapons charges and discipline policies.
They called on intercom that we had a random lockdown search.
But since last Thursday, that's all David Duran-Sander, his grandmother and father have been able to do. David goes to Northeast High School in Clarksville. On Thursday, he drove his father's car to school, and his car was randomly chosen to be searched by the sheriff's department during that lockdown.
I was like, no, sure, no problem, because I didn't have anything to hide. And they said, do you have anything that we might need to know about? I was like, my dad chews tobacco, so there's probably snuff in there. And they're like, okay, and that's when they found the knife.
David's dad is a commercial fisherman on the West Coast. He had apparently left a fishing knife in the car.
Well, I was like, this isn't my knife, it's my dad's. I didn't know it was in there. He's like, it doesn't matter, it was in your possession anyway.
Since the blade was longer than 3 inches, school policy considers it a dangerous weapon. On the spot, David was suspended for 10 days. He will also have to attend an alternative school for 90 days after that.
I'm like, no, don't you understand? I'm not sending this kid to an alternative school. He doesn't deserve that. He did nothing wrong.
He then faces weapons charges from the sheriff's department.
I was like, is this a dream? Like, why is this happening to me? Like, this is so ridiculous.
And right now, it's unknown how this dream will end.
David and his family have an appeal hearing on Wednesday with the school board. If his suspension and reprimand are not reversed, he will not be allowed to attend prom, his JROTC ball, or walk at graduation. Guys, it's unclear whether he'll be able to graduate at all, and that has scholarship applications and college applications on hold until this all gets figured out. And we tried multiple times to get a response, some sort of statement from the school district, but we got nothing.
Wow. Definitely going to be one that has people talking, though, Todd.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Well, these types of searches do go on at schools all over the nation. In September, a student in Pennsylvania was suspended for 10 days after he realized while he was at a football game that he had left a hunting knife in his pocket. Now, he turned himself into his teachers and still received the same punishment as if he was a student who tried to sneak the weapon into a school event.
You have to think about other students as well, and you have to think about, is this a fishing knife? Is it more dangerous than that?
Tonight, a school system responds to intense criticism from around the world after a student is suspended and charged for a knife in his father's car.
News Channel 5's Todd Walker broke this story last night at 10, and you know what? We called it. We said this is one that people would be talking about. Since then, the story has gone viral.
Yeah, guys, it definitely has. More than 13,000 people have signed an online petition urging the school district to end David Duran-Sander's suspension and drop the charges against him. An appeals hearing is set for tomorrow morning to discuss his punishment. Tonight, the school district is speaking out about the case.
They found it somewhere over here.
David Duran-Sander has been suspended from school since last Thursday. During a random lockdown and search at Northeast High School in Clarksville, the sheriff's department says it found this fishing knife inside the car David had driven to school.
They either found it down here or over here. It was somewhere in the back seat, they said.
In a statement to law enforcement, David said he didn't know it was there because the car had been his father's. His father is a commercial fisherman. He says the knife must have fallen between the seats.
It's a very concerning case, but I want you to know that we do work with our students.
Elise Shelton is a spokesperson for the Clarksville-Montgomery County School System, which has taken a lot of heat since we broke the story last night. David was suspended for 10 days on the spot because the knife, longer than 3 inches, is considered a dangerous weapon and is illegal on school property under state law. But school policy regarding the punishment seems to contradict itself. Under the policy for car searches, the district says students are responsible for contents of the vehicle they drive to school. But in the same policy, in subtext under offenses for possessing a dangerous weapon, the policy says possession shall mean the student knowingly and intentionally possessed the contraband. David says he had no idea his father's knife was in the car.
Which policy prevails there?
I think that's for the hearing board to decide. So they'll look at the evidence, they'll look at his testimony, and they'll look at all these things all together, and they'll do what's right by the student and what's right for the school system.
Either way, the district wants this case to be a lesson for everyone.
I highly recommend for every parent and student to go out to their car tonight and make sure that everything in there is appropriate.
Elise Shelton says the district had to suspend David immediately because he was charged with having illegal weapons on campus by the sheriff's department. That 90 days at an alternative school is not set in stone, though, and anything can happen at this appeals hearing tomorrow. And for the criminal charges, we're just going to have to wait and see on those. But I've heard from so many people over the last day who say that this has happened to them as well, and those charges can haunt them for a long time.
Well, absolutely could change everything for him.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Todd.
We're following developing news tonight in the case of a Clarksville student suspended and charged with a knife when it was found in his father's car. News Channel 5's Todd Walker broke the story earlier this week, which went viral around the world. Now, this high school senior will be able to walk across the graduation auditorium.
Yeah, Vicki, he will. He and his family appealed the punishment, which originally suspended him for 10 days and remanded him to an alternative school for 90 days. That appeal hearing was this morning, and this afternoon the appeal board came back with its decision. The punishment has been reduced, but not thrown out. Instead of 90 days at an alternative school, David Duran-Sanner only has to attend 30. That means he would be back with his classmates at Northeast High School before prom and graduation. David said all along he had no idea that knife was in the car his father had given him.
I'm just kind of disappointed right now because we worked so hard to get through this and to abolish this, but at the end of the day I'm still guilty, and it's bittersweet, but mostly bitter.
You know, a reduced sentence, that's not taking it off his school record that he's in violation of a weapons charge. That's not going to get rid of this criminal charge of weapons on school property that we still have to face.
Now, David still faces a misdemeanor charge of having an illegal weapon on campus. He and his family are hiring an attorney to hopefully get rid of that charge. The school district says, though, Vicki, that the mark on his record is not on the transcripts that are sent to colleges, so they shouldn't have to worry about that. An online petition that started right after this has nearly 20,000 signatures from around the world supporting David.
Wow. Thanks, Todd.